Okay, so we are live from Glen Abbey Golf and Country Club in Oakville, Ontario for the 2019 Ice Brew Toronto Challenge. This tournament is sponsored by Ice Brew. If you want your beer cold, get an Ice Brew. But in any event, we have a rather subdued field here. A number of guys have decided not to play in this. They're looking towards the playoff. And so they're hoping to get in. They're just putting all their eggs in that basket. So we've got 2 tournaments before we start our playoff here on the Tenacious Golf Tour. And so, we've got a few guys in here that are regulars. We got a few guys in here that are not so regular, and whether or not that's from the Ice Brew, I can't tell you, but there should be some kind of a fiber product for that regularity. I don't know what it is. Maybe that's something I can email Keith. So anyway, now that I've completely disgusted you on a Friday night, hopefully you are going to sit down and enjoy an Ice Brew with this particular event, which is the Ice Brew Toronto Challenge. And so we're going to do the first 3 rounds this evening. And I'm just trying to get the cards ready here. I'm not too worried about it. Emmerich is not in this. I forget who all is. I probably should have come up with a list to show you, but let's just get on with it here and get ready for hopefully tomorrow afternoon. I am going to play disc golf in the morning. I'm going to take a little different deal here because let's just do it this way. It's kind of tough. I'm trying to get them even. What the heck? Close enough. So I'm playing disc golf in the morning, so if I can get back and get the first 9 holes or so out of the way, I'll get on and finish it up tomorrow afternoon at some point. If that doesn't happen, then phooey on me. I'm a really bad planner, and you guys should ridicule me over that. But hopefully that doesn't happen and everything goes well. Today was a day off, so you already saw a couple videos out on some baseball stuff. Not everybody's into the baseball stuff, but hopefully you are. At least enough to go have a watch and enjoy. So this stack seems a little light here, but we're just going to go with it, and whatever happens, happens, right? So Brandon and Mark are here, and if anybody else is, well, welcome. I'm appreciative of you being around to watch this coverage. I'm going to go ahead and just lighten it up a little bit. Man, it looks really bright in the room. So let's take it back a couple of shades of alabaster. And let's go. So the target score is going to be 261. This tournament, the last time they played at Glen Abbey, Dustin Johnson won with a -23. This is a par 72, so if you do the math, and then the roll that I use to determine the variance, it actually subtracted 4 from the score, so it's taken all the way to 261. So this should be a low-scoring affair, and we'll see. I've been looking. The other neat thing about Glen Abbey is that the back 9 has 3 scoreable par 5s, so that's always good for TV. So makes you wonder why they ever took it away from that particular course. I guess probably scheduling or whatever. So I'm going to roll 2 dice, and then we add them up. Well, we don't add them up. We arrange them in ascending order. 34. We're going to draw an outstanding golfer. That's Hal Marlowe. So Hal, baby, he's going to get an outstanding. And then with the other 3, we go off the top. So let's just go ahead and thumb through here. We've got Yanni Nijima, who is off the Slacker Tour. We got a couple guys here that are going to be off of that. So bear with me as I'm It's tough to shuffle these things, and so we're going to have kind of a glut of them here. Let me see something. Can you guys? Yeah, you guys can see that down at the bottom. So the top 3, it's like this. We've got Kirk Redwine's going to knock out Yakko Pentilla. I think of Yakko, Wacko, and Dot when we do that. So now we got Adrian Hyde, Cliff Pettibone. These are all off of Slacker, and they all made this tournament because we have so many guys out. Torrey Bingen is in. And so we had the top 3, so Yanni and Kirk, and then Bellano. So we're going to have 5 plus 1 is 6 go in, and that's a lot of them. So it's when you get, it's tough to shuffle cards. I mean, it really is when you get this many. So that's 6, but it doesn't matter. They'll all flush out in the end. 35. They're going to draw 2. Dallas Downs. Hayden Livingston, the top 3 remaining. And let's do Elaine, and then these 4 guys. All right, so that's another 6. It's going to look a little bit like a Slacker Tour event here in certain ways, because we're going to have a lot of custom cards and a lot. We're going to, with 16, we're going to draw 5. There's Soren Overgaard, Frederick Rhodes, John Mulkers. Let me make sure, double check here. That's 1, 2, 3. 4 is Isaiah Rogers. 5 is Gage Valentine. And then we're going to take the top other than that, and it's going to be Alan Kelly. So we're starting to get into the tour cards now. But that's going to be another 6. So we've got 18 through 3. That's a little bit ahead of pace. We would like to see some lower numbers here soon. 24. We're going to draw 2. Lanny Saxerholt. Benicio Vasquez, the 2 draw golfers out of 24. The top 2. Let's do it this way. We already know, well, we know Wayne Harper. Let's go ahead and put him down there. And Todd Mann. So Jeffrey Clark is going to be out of it because he's not in the top 2. 3C is Kenneth Hahn. He'll knock out Mann. 3C will knock out Wayne Harper. That's Wyatt Sells. 4B, John Hudspeth, no. Reese Gillespie, no. So there we go with a 4. And at the top of the screen, you should be able to see the enumeration of the various numbers. I'm trying to show it to you without making it too large to cover anything up. So hang on here. There's Philip Reynolds, RJL. Okay. Good to see you. Baseball's coming up after, I guess. So good. Phil Reynolds is playing practice payoff pitch. So good. So yeah, just checking things out here while I'm trying to keep up with you guys. You guys are in the midst of chatting. So here's pile 4. Let's just keep on moving. 12. That's good. I like having a good mix of large number of golfers and then a few low, because then it usually works out just right. So we're going to draw 1. Eddie Sykes, we've seen him a few times, and now the top golfer aside from that. So it's Kimes. So Manini isn't with a 4B. So if you haven't done this before, and if you're interested in the game, the tournament rating is how we're doing in determining top. The lower the number, the better. The earlier in the alphabet, the letter, the better, but the number kind of takes precedence. So they're grouped by number first. So 1 is better than 2 is better than 3. But if you get a tie at 2, then you go to the A's, B's, and C's to determine A is better than B is better than C. In this part of the process, if you have ties, you just accept them, and that's why we've done that earlier. So we have a 3A for Copeland. There's a 2B, that's Bob Demelmeyer, so he's going to knock out those 2 3As. 4B, Gerald Ashley is a no. We got a 4A, Tagaki Yamasaki. No. Roland Webster and Dell Hutton So, I don't know what that yelling was upstairs, but we got a bunch of guys who have missed the cut here, and Bob Demmelmeyer will make it in. It might be because somebody left some stuff on the table. We've been trying to work on that. Our kids tend to think that they can just have bus service from our kitchen table all the time. All right, so we've got a 2 out of that one, which is good. We're up to 24, so we've got 3 more rolls in the morning, and if you'd like to be under 40, basically 5 apiece, so we're on track, maybe even a little below track. Now, this is not going to help. 46 is going to be 1 in top 4. Well, 1 in top 4 would get us 5. We can do that, but your draw 1 is Patrick Kieran. There are a few big names in here. Emmerich isn't one of them, but let's see who comes through. So Lefty Meadows, Luke Henneman. So there's Samson Tucker, not to be confused with Samson Peterson, who has won a couple times here on tour. So these are the top 4 at the moment. We'd like to see. What? What, the phone? Yeah, it looks like our internet had a blip. Okay, so please let me know if we're back here. It seems like we had a blip in our internet service, and my son is freaking out because we get our phone through it and everything. So I'm hoping we are back. Please give me a heads up if we are. Okay. So Greer is 1. Hughes is another. Hughes just won a tournament on the Slacker. So, and then we take the top 2 after that. 4B, 5B, 4B. So we're going to take Gentry and Lucero. Wilcox is out. Actually, it wasn't Hughes. It was Wilcox that won the tournament. So but he misses the cut here. Okay, so yeah, so apologies for this, but we did have like a little bit of a internet blip. We're at 39 golfers now, and I'm not sure what exactly caused that. As much as we have new technology, it finds a way to befuddle us in the best of times and the worst of times. So we're going to take... I try to do this in a way that I don't really get to feel the cards much. I like just to take... Let's see, try and cut them as best I can here. Okay, we're going to cut there. There. We're just having more issues, and my children don't understand how fleeting and how lucky they are to live in the age they do with the modern technology. It's like broadband is something that I would have never imagined as a kid, and now they've got the best of the world, and it's like anytime YouTube is down, the world ends. All right, to the afternoon rounds now. 25, we're going to draw 3. Trevor Nolan, Braden LaSalle Jr., and Alec Nolan. And Brandon, I don't know if the bedwetter is here. I can't remember. Okay, so there's 3, and now we're going to take the top 2. So August Jarvis, Dwayne Bradshaw. There's 2. There are a couple that are 5. I would imagine they're going to get bumped. Well, Kleckner is 4A. There's Gareth Leonard is a 1B, so there's one of the good guys, one of the good golfers. There's Ethan McMillan. He will knock out Kleckner. And 3B, Kyson Rolka will knock out McMillan. So we're going to get those two guys in. So, oh my word. Do you ever just get a headache from people who over dramatize every last thing in the world? Draw one. Kenny Service. Oh, I forgot to update this. So that was 25. We did get the 5 out of that. So Kenny Service is the one. Now the top 2. 3C for Mackay Berry. 3A for Rudy Wallace. Can already hear the chants from the crowd. Rudy, Rudy. 3C for Goro Morisaki. Christian Canepa, 4A, won't make it. Another 4A, Ryan Broadus. 4A, Leon Bay. 4B, Duke Vernon. 4B, Ernest Sutton. 3C, we're going to get a tie here. So it was going to be 3, but instead it's going to be 5 that go in. David Alvestad and Mackay Berry make their way in. So, pile 3. Another 23. Draw the top guy. It's going to be Smokey. And then the top after that. Oh, these guys are missed. So Celestino Garcia. Let me see. Right. I thought I'd mess something up. So Gooch Wilborg. So that's the top. That's the top 2. 4B, Nate Killo. No. Yusuf, no. Alan Duvall, no. Tyler Ochoa, no. So there'll be 3 out of this pile. Garcia, Wilborg, and Novak. Pile number 4, 16. We're going to draw 5 golfers off the top of here. Hudson Parsons, Damari Arias, Stuart Ash, Steve Foshee, Derek Young. So a couple of slackers mixed in with the rest, and now the top off of there. So Ray Tuminello, Jim Zeithofer. There's a 3C for Dale George and a 4B for Zephaniah Scott. He's going to miss out as there are those 4 A's. So Dale George makes it, and that is going to be 6. $56. That's going to be a total of at least 6 guys. We're going to draw 1. Toshio Takai. Fun one. And we're going to go to the top 5, and it may take all of them here. This feels like a thin pile in there. So there's Heath Summers and Adam Trenchard, Gary Zukowski, Parker Melton, and Lucas Bergman. Everybody in this pile gets to make the cut. And so it's a total of 6. Okay, 3 more left. Oh, 26. Another 6. So we're going to draw 4. Josiah Jacobs. Rance Aberley, there's a pretty common name. Waki Inoue, common name within our tour. And Don Slattery, who he just was in a final. Right? So there's the 4 draw guys, and then we take the top 2. What do we have here? We've got 4 cards. Joel Barrera, 5B, 4B for Nolan Molina. 4A for Saunders, 3C for Malcolm Wiles. So it's the top 2. It's going to be Saunders and Wiles. Molina and Barrera go. How are we doing as far as numbers go? We'd like to get at least 1 under 5 if we could do it. Thanks, RJL. I mean, that's kind of the reason I'm trying to use a little bit of I'm using a random number generator to kind of help determine who's on and who's off. And it's the same. I'm going to be using the process next year unless I determine I'm not happy with it. But so far, so good to try and simulate golfers taking time off. Whoa, almost lost the die there. It's a 25. Draw 3, 1. Enrique Magallanes, 2. Jay Laufenberg, 3. Carlos Solari. If there was a good way to shuffle these cards, probably getting some card sleeves would be helpful. So there's 3, and now top 2, and this is a small deck. There's a 4A for Cam Tullis, Kenji Morita, and then the 4B misses out Mike Keller. So we've got 2 more. That's a total of 5. And I gotta switch to this screen, and then finally we are very close. Can we get one under 5? 23 is good. I'll take that. So we're going to take the 1 draw golfer, Ozzie Valenti, and then the top 2. So let's just go ahead and CJ Hope. Bruno Friedman is 3C, probably not going to make it 3A for Marshall Weber. So Hope now is on the bubble. 4C, Craig Angelo comes in. Aditya Klein, Jeffrey Hahn, Dominic Jensen, and will CJ Hope make the cut? He does, and it's going to be 3, so that's going to be 4 total. And we are at 79. Hey, that's a good cut number. We'll take that. It is sufficient, barely. 80 is the highest I really like to go. I mean, all we do is we just take a low, we take a group of low finishers from the 3rd round if we need to actually cut more. Because basically what that would be simulating is a large group at that bubble spot. So in any event, that's our cut rounds, and I'm going to just lay these out and try and spread them out a little bit here, and then gather them back up. So give me a second here as I adjust things a little bit. I found a new trick for adjusting these windows, and I am really happy about it. So there, that's a lot better than the way it used to be. Trying to just make these little adjustments to sliders, instead I can hit an alt button and just fix it. So yeah. So RJL's tournament looks like he's going to simulate the championship at East Lake, known as Peachtree, and play circles. I was reading about the course, and it has a pretty unique history. So since we're not playing it here, but we will be playing it soon if RJL wants to discuss that on his broadcast. That'd be all well and good. If not, then maybe I'll save it for when we get there, because our tour championship here will also be at Peachtree, just like it was the previous year. It's kind of a nice way to finish it up, as it mirrors the PGA. So I tried to do a decent job of getting these things stirred up a little bit. It's, again, pretty difficult to shuffle. So give me a moment here. So we have Ice Brew as the sponsor of this tournament, one of the fine Canadian products that they take a real pride in their ice beer. They really pride themselves, like Molson Ice and Labatt Ice. They really stole their formulas from Ice Brew, so just so you know, Ice Brew, if you want your beer cold, get Ice Brew. So And for all clarification's sake, so I don't get sued by either of those companies, Ice Brew is one of the fictional sponsors that are offered by Play if you want to adorn. I should do it here. Actually, how about if I do that while I'm mixing these things up? Give me a second here. I'm going to have some fun. Let's see. Where is... we got to go to my D drive. And let's find it here. Where are you? There we go. We'll put it right up here in the upper right-hand corner. There. Yeah. I can taste it now. Oh, yeah. Actually, I need some beer. I'm out of it. I'm completely out. And need is a relatively loose interpretation of need, but okay, so that's pretty decent there. We'll take it. These guys, I will use a D20 for those three if we have to do draw. So, all right, so let's do... I can get rid of this stuff. So, Ice Brew. I was trying to decide if it was going to be a beer or like an iced tea, and I just, the way that they stylized the ice is just, that's beer to me, I mean, you got to beer me with that. So I'm just, it's just too obvious. Let's just do it like this. All right. You know what? That's going to cut into my... It's going to cut into my mojo here. So, all right. So I'm going to cut into two. That's a little disparate, but what we'll do is we'll make the 4 with this one. So I'm going to cut that into 2, and I'm going to cut this one into 2. Like this. And I'm going to cut this guy into 2. There. And then this guy we're just going to cut into thirds if I can. Do my best. There's a third. And there's a third. And that'll do it. Okay, completing the third round. If you are at home with your chart, have fun following along. Otherwise, you just have to trust me. I have posted the charts in the past. I feel a little weird about it at this point. So I would just as soon, I mean, if you like how this game plays for a golf game, to be able to do a tournament, this is really kind of, I mean, it's awesome to be able to get something in about 3 or 4 hours total time, maybe 5, if you really get, like if you're doing hand stats and stuff like that, if you're trying to keep your tour. I mean, it could take you some time, but, to be able to play the final round in like 3 hours when you're not, narrating it with play-by-play. So my hope is that if you like the way this game plays out, you're seeing it for the first time, you're like, man, this is kind of nice. The other games that I've done take a while, and if you had to do all the golfers, it would take a while. It's like, okay, well, go to Play, and they have a number of sets. They have all sorts of courses. You can have a good old time with it. So let's start with pile 1 as we get on with the third round. RJL is... He is a convert to HMG, and he has been playing... I think he's actually played, well, I don't know. We've been pretty much up head to head here as far as like the amount of golf we've been playing, because I've played one Slacker event offline, and I think that his was online, so it's like we've been kind of like kind of like alongside each other along the way, but it's but he is on board. So we're gonna draw a golfer. They get a perk or issue, and they're gonna go to A. That's what the 15 signifies. And then we're gonna take the top golfer. They're gonna go to A minus, and then everybody else is gonna finish with C minus. So let's go with this golfer is John Mulkers. I don't know if we've seen him too often. I think he may have been in there a couple times. He is a laser golfer, but he's also puny off the tee. So let's go ahead and make sure we notate John Mulkers. What a name. John Mulkers is, bear with me as I look it up. He is American, so for all you patriotic types, we have an American at A, and who's going to get a perk issue. We take the top, and they're going to be A minus. So let's see, Olinger. So the heirs won't get it. Gentry won't get it. Let's just go ahead and start putting them over in C minus. 3C, Brian Bauer will knock out Olinger. 3C, Ozzy Valenti, that's a tie. 3B is going to knock those guys out. So CJ Hope, he just got in, and he's going to end up, potentially, we've got, what do we have? 3 more cards. Rance Aberley dashes CJ's hopes. So Aberley and I have not been planning that for the last month, but it sure did work. Cam Tullis, no. Kenji Morita, no. So Rance Aberley will be the A minus, and then the C minuses are going to be everybody else. So okay, pile number 2. 36. You need that little grunt. So no perks or issues here, but the top golfer will be A minus. So he's going to join Aberley there. So let's start out with Stu Ash. Is this a double? Is this a double? No, it isn't. Just a little weird. So Kieran knocks out Ash. Saxerholt. I'm still here. I'm just trying to address a problem. Yeah. So Lanny Saxerholt, right? So he's going to be tied with Kieran. Sorry about that. I just, one of these, crises. Another 3C. So we might have to actually get out the old decide or die and deal with it. So 4A isn't going to make it. So right now, actually, 4C, Stuart Ash, I'm going to put him down here. He is the low golfer. The low golfer is going to go into D minus. There's Elliott Strong. Okay, 3B is Samson Tucker. He's going to knock out all these 3Cs, Goro Morisaki, Lanny Saxerholt, Patrick Kieran. 5A is Isaiah Rogers. We'll put him in the catbird seat of low man on the totem pole. Alvestad, and then we got Gareth Leonard, who's going to knock out Samson Tucker. So Leonard, and then the 3C of Foshi. So these guys with a 36 all end up at C minus as well. How about that? Leonard goes to A minus, and Isaiah Rogers is poor guy. He's crying in his sleep. At least he gets paid, Some of these guys aren't getting any money. Okay, so top golfer contends with A and a perk. Then everybody else is at C+. So let's see. Gage Valentine, trying to gauge interest in if he's going to be able to get there to this playoff. Derek Young. His theme song is We Are Young. So Vasquez and Young are tied right now for top. Dale George. There's a 3A, Celestino Garcia. He's from the Celestino Plain in Spain. Torre, no. Dallas Downs, no. Bellano, no. There's all those slacker guys. 5A, Josiah Jacobs. Toshio. Waki actually was a guy who was in the final there, right? At the Brit, the UK. Marshall Weber ties Garcia. And then there's Javon Greer. So these guys are all C+. And now we will check and see which of these two guys, if either, will be at A. Otherwise, they will be at B+. And what we do is we use ye old decide or die. That's a yes for Garcia, so he will get a perk or issue and be at A. So I got to type Celestino from the plain in Spain. Celestino Plain. If you've ever heard of that phrase, celestial plane. I don't know. It's from a song or something. Weber will get there too. So that's typically the way I do it. I have varied from time to time. I think this is probably the way you're supposed to do it. Sometimes I've just rolled. If I get a tie of like 5 guys, it's kind of tough to, and then you roll this guy and you get on one of those streaks where every time it's a dot, it really gets tough to just litter yourself with a bunch of A's. But it's probably the way you should do it. Now, number 4. 34, top golfer with A-. And in this one, the others will contend with B+. So this is where we're going to get our just in case guys. So the top golfer, Rudy Wallace, 3A. Kenneth Hahn, 3C. We're going to put him off to the side. Clive Kenny is a 4B. Lucas Bergman is a 4B. Carlos Solari, a 2B, knocks out Wallace. So Solari. Whoa. Parker Melton, Alan Kelly. Jay Laufenberg misses out. Junior Lucero. He took his he basically took his cue from his father, Senior Lucero. It was pretty touching how he got into it. And Don Slattery is going to miss out. But these guys, they may not miss out because they're all going to end up at B+. Right? 34, B+ are the others. We'll put them right there. Solari gets to be in A-. And, oh, well, we need to take Mr. Lowe, and I didn't do that. So let's look through here. It could be Slattery. He's 4C. Well, Melton. We do, yeah, those are the two guys. We do take our ties with D-. So we'll do the old foghorn, crap horn for them. All right. Number 4. 35. Draw golfer. Finally, we get another draw golfer. They will be a no perk or issue. And the draw is Su Sheng Tian. So, kind of a new name for me. I don't think I've had him too often in things. So now the top golfer will get A-. So that's always fun. Heath Summers. Okay, well, that's probably going to be it. Elaine Zelderloo, young up-and-comer. I'm expecting in the new set, which is going to come at the end of the year or early next year, he's going to be down in the low 2s at least. So, Overgaard, Hyde, Gene Ewing, not to be confused with any of the Dallas faithful from the show. Carlos Saunders, no. So Summers goes to A-, and then for 35, they will contend with B, so we will drop them right in here. They probably will just, they could come out in the emerging contenders. Maybe. 12, top golfer at A+, no perk. So we already have, what, 8? We've got 3 piles, so top, and then others will finish with B-, but let's see who the top is going to be, and they're going to be at A+. and will most likely be the leader, if not one of the leaders. So Angus Ingram, a 4A. Are we going to get somebody who in a 4 being the elite? No. It's going to be Magellanis at 2A, possibly. We still got a bunch of cards to look at, though. Smokey Novak, a 3A. A 4A for Damari Ramsey. 4A Hudson Parsons. 4C Frederick Rhodes. Damari Arias, nah. 4B Cliff Pettibone, no. Gooch, no. Trevor, no. Is there a 1B or 1C hanging around here? Nope, Hayden Livingston. So, at 12, those guys go to B-, and Enrique to A+. 2 more piles. So 1 plus the outstanding golfer pile. So we got 66. Top golfer contends with B+. This is going to throw a wrench in the works. So let's see who the top golfers. There's Kyson Roca, Kenny Service. There's a 3A for Eddie Sykes. But this guy's only going to end up in that group at B+. Trenchard. There's going to be nobody in the A's from this group. Wyatt Sells, Gary Zakowski, Kenny Hughes. 5C might be low. I'm going to have to double check that. 2A is Braden LaSalle Jr. He's going to get kneecapped here with this roll, this 66. Mackay Berry, Remington Ramirez, Bob Demelmeyer, Brooks Matthews. Let me just double check, make sure that there's nobody higher than 5C. There isn't. So the low golfer goes to D-. Others finish with C. And LaSalle Jr. is going to go onto the pile for B+. So tough there. We'll have to see how things go. I think he will probably end up in the final pairings. But now this outstanding golfer group, 36. Top golfer, A-. So we already know that it's these 3 guys. They're all 4 Cs. So we're going to have anybody who gets, well, we're going to have nobody in the low. So it's going to be either they're going to go to A- without a perk or issue, or they're going to go on to the B+. So we're going to go with Sato first. That's B+. Hal Marlowe, B+. And Prentice Biel, B+. So they all end up a little bit down. So that's how we're going to do that. Let me get up the chat here because I've neglected you guys for a while. Sorry about that. Do I have anyone on TFN? I have 5 guys currently. And if you give me a moment here, I'm going to tell you who all are. Who all are. I don't know. I'm not in the mood for grammar at the moment. All is singular, so it's got to be right. Here, let's just show you what this is about. I'll show you what we got here. So this is my TFN list. Not to be confused with my CSN list, which is Crosby, Stills, Nash. That would be like American Cash Express, and I'm a big fan of Southern Cross. But anyway, so Eddie Sykes is semi-dynamic. He will be the first one kicked off if somebody gets a TFN today. You've got Trent McAdams with extra control, second on the list. Also with extra controls, Garrett Leonard, who is in the A-, so that will carry into this unless somehow, well, it'll carry in either way because I don't end a TFN until after tournaments like over. So if it's active at the beginning, I let it go. Knee injury for Alardo Huerta, so he is on the shelf at the moment. And then Shinji Kanishi gets extra control. So, and then anybody that we get here will get it. But, those are the guys. And you can see that up the list. This is the history of it. When I add somebody here, it grays out the last one. So when I add this guy, it will say 5. It'll move the 5 down here, and all of these. This will become 1, and this will get grayed out. And Eddie Sykes will cry because he loses his semi-dynamic. So hopefully that is helpful to see. I have to admit that I've been toying with the idea of returning to a more, what do I want to call it, primitive setup, because I feel like I'd like to mostly appeal to new players. I want to have the experienced players tune in as well and watch. But on the other hand, I'm hoping that there's some level of this that is trying to teach. And I feel like by having all the bells and whistles I do, it's not so great for teaching. So we're under 263, A plus. So you got to take the 3 round off of a 72, which is 216. So 216 down to let's see. So what did that say? That was 193. My eyes are bugging me out here. Okay, so that's a minus 23 score would be the best for A plus. 193 off of 216, I believe, is 23 under par. So I just have these guys here that I use, and they come in pretty handy. And I have still have the old scoreboard stuff if I really wanted to go into a more like manual fashion. Which again, it's I may do it next tournament. You never know. I might just say all of a sudden, yeah, let's have some fun with it. It's for old time's sake. It's good to reminisce on occasion. All right, so we've got the A pluses, the A's, the A minuses, and the B pluses, which we're going to need a couple. So let's get going with the A plus guy, Enrique, and he is going to be at minus 23. He gets the top of the heap. Pardon me for a second as I need to take care of something. Okay. Sorry about that. So I'm going to go with my alternate procedure here. I use the decider die if there's one, and if I have more than one, I go with all 4 dice, and I go odd is yes, even is no, and this is the order that I put them in: white, black, gray, silver. When I roll, so we're going to do it for all these guys. This is just my kind of like my speed method for doing it. And so white is no. That's Mulkers. So he goes to minus 20, the lower number. Actually, so then Garcia is yes with the odd 1. Move this over a little bit here. It's going to be 2 back. Then we get the gray or silver Marshall Weber is no. And the green Sucheng Tian is yes. So that's those guys. And now we're going to need to see a little like flicker in my camera. I don't like it. Maybe it's because of this. Yeah. Okay. So now A minus. So again, Aberley will be no with the white die. Then the black die is yes. Gareth Leonard, so he'll be at minus 19. Gray is yes. It's Carlos Solari, and no is going to be Keith Summers. So that's how we do that. Lastly, so now we got to do the B pluses, which are a rather large swath of guys. So I'm going to do all 5. So the decider die will come at the very end. Okay, so white is no, black is yes, gray no, green no, decider no. So there's 4 guys into the no, 1 into the yes. How many do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we need 10. So we need 3 guys, right? So let's see. And again, the way I do this now, I'll explain it after I'm done. So that's no, no. Yes for Sal Jr., no for Sato, no for Marlowe, and now we just have Apprentice BL. So we'll just roll the decider die for him, and it's a no. So we are in a little bit of we're in some uncharted territory here because we've had look at that. We rolled how many? Does that look like 11 rolls, and 9 of them were no, or even or no. So we now have 11. And what we're going to do is with this, we're going to take the guy who is the most or the highest in the money order. I'm pretty sure that's going to be Rudy Wallace. I'm going to take you back to this view here, which we're going to go, actually we will go points, not money. And Rudy Wallace is 17. I don't think there's anybody else higher than that. Marlowe isn't. Sato, no. Han, no. Kenny Bergman. It's going to be Wallace. He's going to get minus 16. We're just going to play it that way. We figure if he's that high in money list, then he has, or the points, then he has been on TV enough to where the TV guys are going to say, oh, let's use him, or let's show him. So that's kind of the way I play it. I think it makes the most sense to me is to try and use. So my process for the B pluses is I sort them out, figure out who's at the higher number and the lower number, and then if there's more than you need at the higher number, or if you have to go to the lower number, you take based on your money order at the moment, or priority, whatever it is. Like basically, it's just like name recognition, because I believe that's how things would work in real golf. I think the guys with prestige and cachet are going to get that. Get the press, so to speak. Okay, so finally, I'm going to do perks and issues. So let's try and get this done pretty quickly. Again, I do white is the category, black is the subcategory, green is a number if we need a number of dice, or a number of chips, and then the decider die gives us TFN. So our first up is John Mulkers, who is going to start 3 behind the leader. So it's category 3, subcategory 5. If par or better on the first hole, sunny, otherwise stormy. So I'm just going to type par sunny. Is it still? I still have that window up, right? How did it go to that? That was weird. Oh, you know what? I think it's because of. So when I type, I have hotkeys, and it messes me up. That's why. Sorry about that. There's some hotkeys that will just confound me. I've had that happen before. So Mulkers, if he scores a par, or a birdie or an eagle on number 1, he will be sunny. Otherwise, he will turn stormy. Now we have Celestino Garcia, category 4, subcategory 5. If bogey on the first hole, stormy, otherwise normal. So all he will become stormy. So let's see, did that change it? It did. So what it is I think I have, it might be the O, I think I have, or could be the E. I have like a diamond setup where it moves to my different scenes. So that's what it is. And finally, Marshall Weber. Weber is starting minus 20 as well. So Celestino is minus 21. And finally, 1 and 1. So that's lose a choice quality, but won't be TFN for Marshall Weber. Well, the choice quality he will lose is going to be the semi-gilded. So I'm going to double check and make sure that is okay. I believe it is, but I want to, sometimes these rules get a little, it's just something I need to check and double check and make sure. So let's just get the weather and then I'll sign off and see the floor to RJL. So, where are we? We're in Toronto. This is going to be northern USA, Canada, and this is July, right? Or is it August? Why do I always forget this stuff? Why? It's still July. So July 66. Oh, that's gonna be something here. July 66S. Slow. All golfers are gonna be semi-laser, and then challenging and semi-challenging get one half easier. So semi-challenging greens go to normal, challenging go to semi-challenging. So we've had that before, but so it's gonna be slow. All right, let me just get back to the chat wherever I put that stupid thing. Here it is. Larry Rice. As in choppy. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's up. Seems like things are being a little weird here tonight. I don't know if it's my mic or if it's the internet, but basically you can see what the scoreboard is going to be. I'll try to sort out my issues here. And, well, it may have been choppy because I turned it off. At one point, I muted it to talk to my kid. So, anyway. So you guys say it's never come back. Let me type. Well, if you could hear my son freaking out for no good reason, I don't know. Okay, how about now? Do you have it now? I just restarted when I went to the TFN screen, it went bad. Okay, so it's back. I don't know. I use this program Voice Meter Banana, which is it's my attempt to try to make this microphone sound a lot better. It has improved the sound until it decides to run to the bathroom with the diarrhea or whatever. So it sounds great, but I don't know, every once in a while it just has a brain fart and wants to crap out. So, Magellanes 2 ahead of Garcia and Tien. Mulker's 3 back with Weber. We saw the issues, if you could see him at the top of the screen here. Actually, I didn't put in Weber. Weber is going to be lose semi-gilded, no TFN. So Larry Rice, since I know you've been doing a ton of tournaments and stuff, it's your understanding that if I take any of you can chime in. I don't mean to just single him out, but I also know he's played a ton of tournaments and probably has read the FAQ enough times to maybe know it front to back. But even with that, I've read it a lot of times too, and I don't remember everything because there's just a lot of stuff there. If I lose a choice quality, can I lose semi-gilded for Marshall Weber? Because otherwise I'm going to have to lose something that is pretty good, and I'd rather not do that if I don't have to. If I had to lose anything, I'd take away, I guess, his Icon, if I had to take a full one. Otherwise, it would have to be Legend. So I'm thinking I can still take away a semi-quality, but I don't know for sure. I will look it up before tomorrow. I know that for a fact. But I'm pretty sure I can do that. So, and I guess the thing is that if the thing to be is consistent. If I do it one time, I should do it every time. So, I think I've done it before, and so Larry says I can. So, okay, that's what we'll do. Semi-gilded. He'll be a little bit better as far as the spectacular shots, which is kind of like your dynamic and gilded. All right, we're gonna have you. So I don't think you wouldn't have heard the 66 roll on the weather. So for Canada in July, a 66 brings about slow greens. So everybody's going to be semi-laser who isn't already laser. So like Magalhaes is laser, so he's not going to get it. But Garcia, Susheng Chen will get semi-laser. Also, challenging greens will become semi-challenging, and semi-challenging greens become neutral. So, those results that a lot of times will come off of the golfer control chart. I'd say most of your golf cam greens come from that. That will be a little easier, as well as some of the shots that are like pinpoint accuracy with your irons, which is the laser quality. So, well, Brandon, I'll tell you, sometimes it's easier than others to just I should be consistent, but I also I like to follow the rules as closely as I can too. It's a blessing and a curse. I'm kind of like, I like to be a rule stickler if I can. But all right, I'm gonna go. RJL, sorry to hold you up. -30. Maybe it's the target score is what, -27. So if can Enrique actually have a good round? His rounds have mostly been mediocre. So to me, it looks like either we're going to get one of these three guys kicking it to get to -30, or we end up with an emerging contender who is, by virtue of the game's mechanism, ends up shooting -10 on the first 16 holes or 15 holes or whatever. That seems to be most likely. But it's kind of nice to have a variety. We've got Leonard here, and we've got Magalhaes, who we see a lot. We have Aberley and Summers. Other than that, there's some guys who've kind of fluttered around the top. We'll see if we get somebody new. Thanks. Thanks for being patient, RJL. I'm going to let you go and do your game. Thanks to Larry, to Brandon. Anybody else float around in the chat here? Michael Peterson, good to see you. Thanks. I've seen your comments around, and Phil Reynolds too. But Michael, I've seen your comments not only in the videos but in other videos and on the play thing and stuff. And so I appreciate. And I'm just glad to be able to help. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens here with the Ice Brew Challenge. So if you haven't picked yourself up some Ice Brew, you might want to take a can of something and slap an Ice Brew label on it. You can get those labels for free. Not labels. You can print out the labels, but you can get the logos like you see up there in the upper right-hand corner of this screen, this Ice Brew logo. You can get this and all the other ones for free. It's Play Now is where you get those. He has them up there. It's a free download. Well, it processes it like a transaction, but you can get them. You could incorporate them into your tournaments, and you could have the Ice Brew, Winnipeg whip around or whatever. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. or one of the various. I think the one that a lot of people yuck it up about is Taco-rific. So we will have to get a Taco-rific tournament in here maybe in the new season. So see you soon, guys. We'll see you tomorrow sometime in the afternoon with the final round, most likely the final 9 holes of the Ice Brew Toronto Challenge from Glen Abbey, or Glen Abbey if you want to call it that, golf club in Oakville. See you soon. And hit the like button if you don't mind. I would really appreciate that. You'd be doing me a solid, to say the least.